Hello students, in last class you have learned about asexual reproduction in plants. So today you will learn about sexual reproduction in plants. For sexual reproduction in plants, or the flower is the main part for the sexual reproduction. Flower, it has both female part as well as male part for the sexual reproduction. Every flower has 4 whorls, or you can say it has 4 parts. First one, calyx. Second, corolla. Third one, androecium, that is the male part. Fourth is the gynoecium, that is the female part of flower. All these whorls or parts, it will be clear through this picture. In the center, the long cylindrical structure you are seeing, this is the stigma. This feathery structure is called stigma, and long cylindrical neck-like portion is called style, and the swollen base is called ovary, and inside the ovary ovules are there. This is the female part of the flower. This is male part of flower, that is called as stamen. This is the colored part of flower, that is petal, and this green leaf-like structure is called sepal. Now, first I will explain about calyx. Calyx is the green leaf-like portion of the flower which is present at the base of flower, and this is the first whorl. And the next to sepal is the corolla. Corolla is the colored part of flower, and it is also called as petals. This is the main attractive part of the flower. The third part, that is the male part of the flower, that is androecium. This is the male part of the flower. It has 2 parts, anther and filament. A single unit is called as stamen. Anther, you can see here, it is a lobe-like structure and it is bilobed. 2 lobes are there, and in this pollen sacs are being formed. Pollen sacs means the place where pollen grains are being formed. And this filament through which it is attached with the flower. Now the fourth part, gynoecium. It is also called as female part of the flower, and it has 3 main parts: stigma, style and ovary. Stigma is the first feathery part through which pollen grains enter inside the ovary. The long cylindrical part is called as style, and then swollen base is called ovary. Inside the ovary, ovules are arranged in different patterns. This is the complete structure of a flower. Now we will discuss that how pollen grains formed inside the pollen sac transfer to stigma. Let's listen carefully. Now in the next topic we will discuss about that how pollen grains transferred from anther to stigma. So our next topic is pollination. Pollination is the process of transfer of pollen grains from anther to stigma is called pollination. Pollination is of two types, self-pollination and cross-pollination. Self-pollination occurs within a flower of a same plant. In one plant only, the self-pollination can occur in one flower itself or from one flower to another flower of the same plant. Now next is cross-pollination. When the transfer of pollen grains occur from one flower to another flower of different plant but same species, that is called as cross-pollination. There will be transfer of pollen grains in between two different plants but of same species. That is called as cross-pollination. That's why for cross-pollination some agents are needed. These agents helps in the transfer of pollen grains from one plant to different plant. So first agent is insects. Insects like butterfly, honeybee helps in the transfer of pollen grains from one flower to different flower of different plant. Now the second one is called wind pollination. Wind also is a agent for transfer of pollen grains. These pollen grains formed inside the anther, they are very light and feathery. So they are easily blown away by the help of wind and transferred from one flower to different flower with the help of wind. Now the third agent is water. Water is also a good agent for pollination. The aquatic plants, they fertilize or they reproduce with the help of water. The male part of flower is remain floating in the water and in the same water body where the female plant is there, the male part reaches to female part of the flower, means pollen grains reaches to stigma in the same water body through water. Water helps them in the transfer of pollen grains from anther to stigma. For detail, just go through the textbook. Now today's homework. What is a flower? Explain its parts. Parts means different parts you have to explain. That is already I have explained. Question number 2. Define pollination and the agents involved in pollination. Now, one project I am giving you. Pluck a flower and separate and study its different parts. Thank you.